Hey everyone, over the next couple of weeks we are going to be sharing different ganache recipes. We're going to be going over today the different types of ganache. There are basic cream ganaches that you do heavy cream in. There are water ganaches that you can use puree in, or just plain water if you want to accent the flavor of your chocolate. And then there are also ganaches you can make that are called whipped ganaches that are heavily based on the heavy cream, and you refrigerate overnight and then you'll just whip the next day. Today we are going to start with a basic cream ganache. So we have the Florida Cow, which is one of my favorite, by Cocoa Berry, heavy cream, invert sugar, and butter. Simple ingredients, you don't need a ton of things. I pulled this recipe from the Alphabet. We love the Alphabet. It's an awesome book. If you do not have it yet, you can get this on Amazon. It'll give you a basic recipe and it'll give you the exact amount of chocolate you need if you want to switch this basic recipe up. So if you want to do white chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, ruby chocolate, caramel chocolate, anything, it gives you all the ingredients to do it. So today we're just going to do a basic dark chocolate. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you need to heat your cream. Normally invert sugar is pretty thick, but Sosa actually makes a very nice fluid invert sugar. So I don't have to melt this in the microwave. I can just pour it directly in. You're going to see how fluid it is. I also normally like to scale the ingredients all in one container so I don't lose any, but I have scraped this pretty clean. All right, so you can microwave this or you can put it on the stove until it just comes to a simmer. You just need it warm enough to melt your chocolate. All right, so I've heated up the cream. You have to be really careful you do not boil this because you're gonna cook out a lot of the water. This is all science, so you have to remember this is pretty much an equation. You need a certain amount of chocolate, fiber, cocoa butter, fat, actual extra fat if you want. So make sure you do not boil this out so that you have enough cream. If you want, you could rescale this to make sure you have exactly 250 grams of heavy cream. Some people will just add a little bit more of the cold heavy cream to get there, but again, very, very important to have the correct formula. So I've poured my cream over my chocolate. Okay, so now that the cream's on here, I just want to mix it a little bit by hand, and then I'm going to immersion blend it. All right, so now that I've got it semi-combined, I'm going to go ahead and immersion blend it. Alrighty, now that it's been immersion blended, I'm going to scrape it because you don't want to lose any of this. Chocolate is expensive. Immersion blending is just the quickest way to make an emulsion with your chocolate. You can do this with a whisk, but it's kind of like you making salad dressing where you can sit there and you can whisk it if you want, but if you slowly pour the oil in while you're either immersion blending or using a blender, it's going to get that emulsion perfectly and not separate. Same kind of concept. Super, super fast friction here with the immersion blender, and it gives you a really nice shiny ganache. Now this is still too hot. You want to wait till this is about 90 degrees and then you can add your butter and immersion and blend it one more time. If you need to cool it quicker, you can put it on your table and spread it until it's about that 90 degrees and put it back, and that'll help the crystallizing happen much quicker. But this still should sit overnight before you use it. All right, so now that my chocolate is cool, I'm gonna go ahead and add the butter. See how shiny that ganache is? I'm adding the butter because it gives an extra creamy, fatty feeling to this ganache. And it gives it a really nice shine, you'll see, once it's incorporated. All right, so that's it for your ganache. Temp check it one more time because sometimes the immersion blender can actually, with the friction, cause extra heat. So as long as it's under 90 degrees, maybe closer to 88, you can pipe it into your bonbons or your creations. Pour it in a frame, whatever you want to do.